Welp, it finally happened. Nintendo actually announced a new game for the Switch that we can look forward to, and it's a Pikmin 3 Deluxe port. An enhanced port of Pikmin 3 that adds these new features, and it has all the DLC from the old game from the Wii U. Now, I am happy that the game is coming to the Switch. We do want more people playing these games from the Wii U. There were some really top-notch titles there that people should witness if they never owned the Wii U. I'm happy about that. I'm happy about Pikmin 3 coming to the Switch. It's a cool thing. I didn't even play the original game. I'm looking forward to this. It looks like a fun time. But I have quite a few concerns with this announcement that I'm not too pleased with. So let's discuss them. The biggest thing that has stuck out to me is that this game is a very late October release. October 30th. That's really late into the year, and it kind of worries me that we might not actually have more Nintendo games to look forward to past this. From now until when Pikmin is releasing, I'm willing to bet that there's nothing more coming out. What makes me say this? Well, when Paper Mario the Origami King was announced, that was 2 months before the game released, and now we're in the same situation here. I don't know, I'm just having deja vu. I do not think we're going to get anything more in between from now until October, meaning we are waiting 2 months for Pikmin 3 Deluxe. Now, I'd love to be proven wrong here, Nintendo, if you're watching this announce Super Mario 3D World Deluxe or announce an actual new game we can look forward to, and I'll be wrong, and I'll be happy. Please prove me wrong. But I just have this sneaking suspicion that this is the game we're looking forward to from now until release. That does not make me happy. Not at all. I'm also really worried that this release is very near to the holiday time, meaning this could be a holiday game if they really wanted it to be, and if that's the case, that means this is competing with the PS5 and the Xbox Series X. Pikmin 3. Pikmin 3. That's meant to be competing with the PS5. Really? That is an issue right there. I remember last year, Luigi's Mansion 3 was the October game. Fantastic. Before that, it was around that time, it was Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee. Yeah, I wasn't happy that they were just remakes of Kanto, but they were big, they were flashy, and they were new, they weren't just a port. And then the year before that, the October game, was Super Mario Odyssey. So that is why I'm concerned right now that Pikmin is the October game for this year. I was kind of hoping for something more substantial. Pikmin 3 is a game that I feel like should be coming out in September, or hell, even this month of August. Why is it not coming out sooner? Why is this a late October game? What's happened here? Call me pessimistic, call this blind hatred. I think I've got fair reasons as to be concerned so far, but there is one alarming situation we're in that concerns the Wii U. Guess what has happened? And I actually didn't know this happened to a game previously, but Nintendo has decided to get rid of Pikmin 3 from the Wii U eShop. It's gone. You cannot get it on the Wii U eShop anymore. It's bye-bye. So basically the situation here is that Pikmin 3 on the Switch is $60. Again, a massive problem I've had with ports. A lot of people have had this $60 issue with the ports, especially when you take into consideration that these new games are the same price, $60, $60. Why are we paying the same amount of money for games that are definitely nowhere near as hard to make as, let's say, a Super Mario Odyssey, a Breath of the Wild? What? That seems a bit unfair, don't you think? So you see that, and then you look at the Wii U and you're like, wait a minute, Pikmin 3? $20? Wow, that's great. And what's Nintendo decided to do? Nintendo has seen this and they've said bye-bye to Pikmin 3 on the Wii U. You cannot purchase it on there anymore. What makes this worse is that physical copies are hard to come by now. So if you never picked the game up originally and you never downloaded it on the Wii U, you are kind of screwed, and that is so shit. The thing I don't get here is, how does Nintendo really benefit from this? Who has a Wii U, number one? Who has a Wii U? Number two, who's gonna go out to buy a Wii U just to buy Pikmin 3 for $20? No one. No one is going to do that. All this does is affect Wii U owners. It punishes Wii U owners for purchasing a Wii U. How is that fair? Your most loyal consumers are getting punished as fuck because you're putting Pikmin onto the Switch. How is that fair? That is so BS. It makes me feel a bit sad that I even purchased a Wii U if this is how they're gonna treat it. This happened with Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze, which I never knew, and I've just got to say, that is so anti-consumer. It's kind of disgusting, and honestly, it's a joke. Why? It makes your brand look terrible. This doesn't benefit Wii U owners, this doesn't benefit Switch owners, it doesn't represent your brand and how you look. It just harms it, it's just a detriment. You're not losing anything if you keep it on the Wii U, are you? Because everybody who has a Wii U probably already has the game. But the option is there for the 5 people who own a Wii U. And you decide to punish them. And then after when Pikmin 3 launches, we're probably looking at one more game to release. And the only game that we definitely know of that has been heavily rumoured and will happen is the 3D Mario Remaster Collection. Meaning, if that is the case, they're the last 2 games of the year. Pikmin 3, port, and the 3D Mario Collection, a bunch of ports. That's an issue for another video with those games specifically, but I'm not too pleased with that. And if that's really how they're going to end the year off, then this was a shocker of a year. This was a year I could have never predicted. Nintendo also couldn't have predicted the pandemic, which is a fair argument to an extent, but the fact that we're not even seeing anything is just an issue on itself. And I still find it funny that they don't put these kinds of stuff into these directs. It happened before with the March Mini Direct. It had Xenoblade, it had Pokemon Sword and Shield, these things we already knew about, but then they had a new Paper Mario game on the horizon they decided to reveal 2 months before launch. Why didn't they just put Paper Mario in that direct to make the direct stand up more? People would not have been angry if they had a brand new first party game in that direct, and they just didn't unless you want to count 51 Clubhouse games. And now with that mini part in the showcase, they could have been like, we've got a random surprise, here's Pikmin 3 Deluxe. Sure, it's not a massive thing, but here we are, it's cool. And to be fair, it has gotten people talking about Pikmin 3. And here is something I don't know if Nintendo are aware of, but it's very sneaky. Very sneaky. Nintendo decides to stay silent for months on end. Beginning, pandemic, fair enough. But for the past couple of months, I would argue what is happening, especially when we get games like Crash Bandicoot 4, the entire PS5 event, the Xbox Series X event. All of these things are getting announced and Nintendo's just zip tight. Not saying a word. So when Nintendo comes out and reveals anything, literally anything, it's gonna get hype and buzz and praise. It happens with Nintendo Switch Online all the time. People complain and critique, but they're always trending on Twitter. Now with the Pikmin 3 stuff, it's blown up. People are talking about it constantly. Oh, I'm gonna pick this game up, Pikmin 3. Oh my god, I never played the original Pikmin 3, because there's nothing else. If this was revealed next to other games, this game wouldn't have this highlight and attention. But now that there's no games, and this is the only thing, the literal only first-party game to look forward to now, suddenly, it's got the spotlight. Suddenly, it's now of interest. And I don't know if that's a business strategy of just giving this game more attention to profit more from something that otherwise may not be profited well, but it's a thing. It's definitely a thing that has happened, but I do not know if it was intentional or not. Either way, I'm not really a big fan. Anyways, that's all of my concerns with Pikmin 3 and Nintendo's current stance. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. Agree? Disagree? Let me know in the comments. Let's discuss. Let's agree and disagree together. We like conversation. Let's go. But with all that said, thank you all for watching. I'll catch you in the next one. I'm still worried, man, and I'm still heavily concerned. Peace out, my dudes.